Hello, good afternoon, and we are doing another DIY project here at the Granger cabin at the lake. And this is one I've been putting off because they're not hard to do, they're just not much fun to do.
Well, there's a lot of things that aren't fun to do that
like I
are
like
necessary.
painting, so painting doesn't bother me. I enjoy doing that. But when we were done, I was glad it was over. So we have a couple of sections of screen that need repaired, and this is probably the worst one. Is right here, it blows in, and we've had birds get in here. And,
Lots of birds, and you know how Brett likes those birds.
you could probably stretch this screen and get it back under the board, but it's actually got a rip in it right here and a piece
that
missing.
looks like a pretty significant birdie hole.
So the previous owners did leave me a roll of screen, so I've got it in there on the table so I can cut it. And I've already measured this, and what you do when you measure, you're not replacing the whole panel, which we're not. There's nothing wrong with the rest of it, and I need to save the screen for repairs. So you'll measure, because I'm going to pull these boards off and reuse them, so I'm just going to pull them gently, try not to break them, and then I'm going to put them back on. So we're just replacing the single panel. So the way I'm going to do that is you measure to the center of the board. Or you could even go a little long, but you don't want to go past it because then it'll show up over here and it'll look stupid. So you want to go about 3/4 of the way across the board and then measure to about 3/4 of the way across the board over here. And I've already measured, it's 36 inches. And the bottom has a short lip on it. So we measured 35 inches high to the center of the board here. 35. So it's 35 by 36. So we take that measurement onto the table, in which I've already started to kind of do it and laid it out, and then we go make our cuts, and then what we'll do is we'll pull these boards off and then run the screen inside the boards and use a staple gun to hold it, to tack it first, and then the boards, replace the boards, and then that's finished. That's the plan.
About how many do we have to do?
This is the worst one. I don't know that I'll do any more today because it's kind of late in the afternoon. There's a few over here. This one here just has, I don't know that it's ripped, but I'd have to do it from the ground. So outside I'd have to get the big ladder and come up and pull this board off here. And maybe I can re-stretch this across here, staple it in place, and then replace that board. So the screen is okay, it's in good shape.
Is that ladder even high enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I still have to paint the outside of those boards blue.
Yeah, I don't think it goes all the way up here, but I think it will reach the bottom.
Oh, well that's...
And we don't have any screens on the top to replace. They all look okay.
That's going to be a hard area to paint.
So that's a little one right there. And then there's one here. And again, I will pull the board off first and see if that screen will stretch in there and I can tack it. And try not to replace the screen if I don't have to, because it's in good shape. Otherwise, all it did was pull loose from the strip there.
Yeah, it does get pretty breezy at times. So.
And this is probably the next worst one.
That can wreak havoc.
But again, there's nothing wrong with the screen. There's no holes in it other than the ones that are supposed to be there, okay?
Looks like that one next to it's pretty rough too.
This one can be stretched across and back under that board. And this one looks ripped, so we might have to replace this one.
Yeah, that looks rough.
And then all those over there are okay.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
But of course, there has a ledge to stand on.
Yeah, and it's high off the ground. I know there's one board on the outside. I think it's this one. Doesn't have any, I think it's like a 1/2 inch by 2 inch tack board that you put on it to hold the screen in place.
It's missing?
This one's missing. The screen is still attached because someone stapled it. So that's good, but I think it's just missing a board.
Lots of little projects.
I just have to buy about 8 feet worth of 1/2 inch by 2 inch tack board to go. I'm calling it a tack board. I don't know what else to call it. So
Kind of would have been nice if they did a little catwalk board situation over there, then you could just stand and paint and do some stuff, but or get a scaffolding, but sheesh.
Yeah. But you can see down, right now you can still see down to the lake because the trees haven't come out. And can you kind of see the path of trees? We've been trying to clear trees out there so you can get a view of the lake. And we're still going to clean it up some more.
Well, once those leaves come in, you'll see it a lot less.
I remember when we first bought the house, it was summer and you couldn't see any of the lake,
really see it during the summer.
No. But you'll see some of it this time. But in the winter, it really presents itself.
Yeah, you got to be a millionaire to get the best of views.
See, I mean, there's quite a much lake, and it goes, if I can point here, it goes from here and it goes around that finger and goes all the way back here. So this is the main part of the lake. This is just one finger that comes in off the lake. It's a very long lake, and it has a lot of fingers.
What this has to do with the screen job, I have no idea.
I don't know. We always put this view in our conversation when we're on the porch.
Brett's chasing them squirrels.
Chasing them squirrels.
Squirrel. What he really is doing is a delay tactic because he doesn't want to do the screen job. Am I right?
Yes, it just doesn't measure up. But we're right here.
Back to the task at hand, my friend.
This is a board I wanted to use because I found it in the garage. And I wanted to use it on the outside for over here, but it's too thick. If I could rip this, but I don't think I have anything I could rip that
We
with.
do not.
I
We
don't
got
have a
rid
table
of
saws.
we got rid of all that stuff.
I think I'm just going to have to buy some half, I don't even know if it's half inch, it's like quarter-inch by
Well, I know the bummer, we had two.
Yeah.
And we even had a nice, what's that? The angle one that comes down like a chopper. What do you call
Oh
those?
yeah, chop saw?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it.
Go figure. Chop saw. We had one of those too. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't know.
So here's the top of the screen because it's painted. It's got looks like pink paint. So this is going to be square from the store. This side looks pretty square. I'm looking at it and it looks like they cut it along the same line. So what I did is I just used this board as a straight edge and to hold the screen down. And then I just measured the 35 inches off of it to the edge. And I did that all the way down to make sure that the screen was square on this side. And then I'm just going to cut this. And then once I cut it, then I still have to come over and I'll measure off the top because it's going to be more exact than this. This was a person cut this. The factory cut this. So I'll go off of this in.
Yeah, I know when I cut stuff, it's always crooked.
I'll come over 36 inches, which is right here. And so this part right here will be cut off. And so this will be the piece we're using. So that's what I'll be doing next.
Okay, and I guess we'll be doing one panel today.
At least one. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I'm not a professional screen repair person, so we're just
You could be
DIYing this.
by the end of this
Oh,
job.
No.
I heard you can make a lot of money replacing bird cages.
Someone else can. I'm going to go back to chasing squirrels.
Slacker.
Let me get my tools.
Do you need me to hold it?
I don't think so. It doesn't cut very well. Is there a way to mark it and we can cut it with scissors?
I don't think I have a chalk line or anything. Did we keep one of those?
I think I did keep the chalk line.
You could chalk line it.
Yeah. Oh, it is cutting. It just didn't feel like it was cutting.
Homeboy is probably cutting up that table too.
Well, this is a trash table. That's why I'm cutting up.
I know. I already painted it.
I wouldn't be doing this if it was a table that I planned on keeping.
Yeah, unfortunately, that table is too big and too heavy.
Okay, yeah, that works.
But it is a good table. Be nice if somebody wanted to come pick it up for free.
The big part is pick it up.
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
It is.
Alright, so now I'm going to turn it this way. And this will be the 36.
It's getting a little crowded on this porch.
Yep.
We have to get rid of this table soon.
Okay, now I'm just double checking.
It's always good to double check. But it's not good to double dip.
That's right. Alright, so I'm gonna press down on that. That cuts very well, actually.
Hopefully that's a straight line. Otherwise, you're going to get fired from this job.
We'll see if it fits.
I think he would love to get fired from this job.
Fire me!
Don't threaten me with a good time. That's what I used to say when I worked at the post office. Fire me. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, it's hard to get fired at the post office.
No doubt.
Especially a poorly ran one.
How'd you do?
Yeah, I think it's going to work. Now I got to get the hammer and pull the boards off. That's the tricky part.
Looks like your job is secure. It is awful bright around this corner, let me tell you. Woo!
I might have to get a screwdriver. This might be too fat.
Probably. It has been eating a little too much ice cream, if you know what I mean. You got a fatty hammer. Ooh, ooh. He managed to squeeze it up in there.
That's coming off pretty easy. This one is. Trying not to break it because it's already painted and I don't have any more wood.
Yeah, we already got to buy a piece or two. And with the price of wood these days, don't want to make that a big list.
Okay.
That almost came off too easy. Feel like you're being punked.
So it's tacked here, and what I'll have to do is cut it. I'll cut it. I'm going to cut it on the lower edge to get some overlap with this screen, because this is the good screen, so you want the good screen to have the longer tongue. So this screen you're getting rid of anyway. So we'll just cut it like a third of the way up the board. But let me see if I can get these off first. And I don't know that I need to pull the whole thing off. I just need to pull the bottom half off.
Hopefully they come off as nicely.
This looks like a separate piece right here.
Oh, yeah. They didn't want to go to the store and buy more wood either.
See, it's okay.
You do what you got to do.
When we bought the house, we knew that it was there were some things that needed to be fixed on it, and the sellers didn't want to do any more work. They made it pretty clear that there's not much more they were going to do to it. Pretty much an as-is kind of thing. But the inspector didn't really reveal anything that was like not normal fair wear and tear. It's an older cabin. Cabins are living, breathing homes. When it rains, when the wind blows, not saying it moves like this, but I'm saying
you can hear it differently than
Yes.
in other places.
So we got the house with that in mind, because remember, the house was a bonus. We really just wanted the garage and we wanted to be near a lake. So that was the criteria. Lake, garage to put our stuff in, and oh, there's a house. So it worked out good. And I don't mind doing, I can do most things myself, not everything. Like the chimney, I painted what I could of the chimney. But there was a contractor across the street who was doing some work, and I asked him if he had a painter guy. So we've made an agreement that he's got a guy. He'll send him over this week, hopefully. And
He'll paint those few high spots.
yeah, the chimney, the front face and the back face of that chimney need to be painted, and they're high.
And that is so worth it, in my opinion, for safety reasons. And not only that, but you would have had to pay money to go rent special stuff. You probably would pay more to do all that and then still have the safety issue of it than just to pay somebody who does that.
Yeah, and he's doing some work in the neighborhood, and his work trailer is right across the street. So he comes in the morning, goes in the trailer, and an hour or so later he's gone, and then comes back later. His equipment's already here. It's right across the road.
That helps too, because
So-
if you had to get a company just to come out here to do that, they're going to charge even more because they had to make a
charge.
special trip.
Yep, they're going to charge the
So-
drive time to and from their office like
It's
a lawyer
always-
does.
Always good to try to hunt somebody down who's already working in the neighborhood.
And plus, they're already reputable because they wouldn't be working in here if they weren't.
Yeah, you can talk to the neighbors and see and all that stuff. It's always good to ask people who are doing work on your place questions, because I watch some of those house repair shows and it's a little frightening to see sometimes what people pay contractors to do and get such a shoddy job done.
Get ripped off, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
little,
like to watch homes.
little heartbreaking.
I like to watch homes on homes.
Yeah, that guy does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
And I like that he has his family involved as well.
yeah, and he's fixing other contractors' mistakes is what he's doing.
And he goes above and
Way
beyond.
above and beyond.
Is that one a little trickier?
It's a little holding on a little. It'll come though.
A little tighter.
I'm just being careful here.
Oh, yeah. It's hammer time. Too bad I didn't keep my MC Hammer pants from back in the day. I could have done a little MC Hammer dance for you. Of course, that would probably mess up your concentration. You'd break the wood because it'd be so hilarious.
I know I dropped a nail.
Might have went all the way through.
It might have.
It's in Narnia now. Narnia.
This green has been kind of bothering me ever since we've been starting to spend more time on the porch.
Yeah, plus it's going to bother you big time if one of them birdies flies in here when we're sitting on the porch.
Oh, I freak out. I don't like birds.
It's bad enough when we're sitting in the house and he sees that there's a bird out here and I have to come out here and chase it out. But, ooh.
I think that's fine.
Yes, sir.
All right, so right here, this is an overlap section of screen, so this is really already cut. You can see the nails just pulled through. Not enough overlap on the screen. It's right on the edge. And that's probably why it gave out. Let me get the knife.
Sounds like that would be why.
It's also early in the year, and it's a good time to do this work on this side of the house. Excuse me, because it's going to get hot, and when it gets hot, you can't be on this side of the house.
Yeah. Plus, when it's hot, who wants to do any outside work? I remember all that work we did in the Florida summers, pretty much my whole life, and yeah, I don't want to do that again.
I'm trying to go under those nails.
Especially as you get older, the heat is harder to deal with.
All right.
It's bright enough out here to make shadow puppets.
This one only has one set of nails, so I have to make sure I go on the right side of the nails, or this screen's going to come loose on the left side.
Little doggy humor.
If you get any stray strings, you just cut them so they don't pull. I need to sit down now.
It's not the sitting down part that'll be rough.
It's the getting up part. Although sitting down ain't so easy either.
Yeah, it's funny as you get older and you think back to when older people told you stuff when you were young.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of just like rolled your eyes and were like, okay, old man, or okay, old lady. And now you're like, dang it.
Karma.
They were so right.
Jeremy ain't the only one that's got karma to his left and karma to his right.
And it's funny now when you're telling the younger people those things, you know that they're rolling their eyes at you, calling you the old man or the old lady.
Okay, I still got a bottom board to pull off, don't I?
The fun never ends.
I'm going to try not to pull this one off. I think what I'll do is, well, I still need to get a staple or two on there. Okay, old screen, new screen, old screen, new screen. We all scream for ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
What kind of ice cream are you screaming for?
I'm going to see if I can't just drop the bottom one in.
Yeah.
If I can't, then I'll pull the board.
I know in Texas we tried a lovely flavor. It's that chocolate peanut butter overload.
Oh, yeah.
Bluebell.
The wind is blowing a little bit, so that's not fun.
Let me know if you need me to do anything
I'm
here.
gonna tack it right there. Where's that?
Left. I can grab it for you.
Let's see. Like that.
You didn't clean the screen before you hung it?
No.
Shame.
I'm gonna try to just drop it in without pulling that bottom board. We'll see how that works. It may not work too well. I think I need a bigger space.
Yeah.
Back up.
Otherwise you might end up with the same problem.
That might be enough space. I just want to drop it down in. Well, those nails are going to have to come out, I think.
Unfortunately, they will not drop behind the nails.
Nope. The nails have to go through the screen and help hold the screen. So, I think it'll work. I just got to pull all the nails out.
I was wondering what that smoky smell was you were thinking.
Is that what's for dinner? Smoky thinking?
I think I'm going to have some leftovers, maybe leftover meatloaf.
All right. I like meatloaf. All right, so it's kind of a careful thing. You just kind of want to ease it in there. Looks like it's a little long on the bottom, but that's okay. That's what you want. Not too long. But I think it's going to go all the way to the floorboards, which is good.
I hope when we're yard sailing in Amish country, I find a bunch of stuff on my list and you can come home and do more projects. I've heard those yard sales over there are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
People rent hotel rooms and trailers for the 2 or 3 days that they have them. So,
Oh, well.
and I think last year there was 80 homes in the string of yard sales.
Oh, wow. So it's at people's houses?
Yeah, they
Oh,
give you
okay.
like a map.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Plus, you can enjoy all the other things they're already doing in Amish country, like go to the buffets, get some cream sticks, maybe a petting zoo, who knows. It's always hard to see what you can cram in. It leaves you feeling a little tired.
Okay, let me see. I feel like I'm a little short on the right. No, I think it'll pull over. Alright, so let me get a couple tacticals here. I want to center this. Like so, nice and tight.
Good and tight.
That's right.
Make it pull over.
And pull.
Turn on your lights and sirens. Make it pull over.
Pull over.
Sorry for the terrible jokes. I'm here all week.
That's what I was afraid of.
Oh.
Alright. I don't like that one. That one kind of pulled. It's pulling a wrinkle in it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why. I think it needs to go up a little.
Need some wrinkle cream for your screen.
The staples don't quite go all the way in. I think that'll be alright.
Who's there?
It's getting there.
I thought you were going to tell a knock-knock joke.
The tedious part is at the very bottom because you can't. You're tucking it in. You're not able to get a good pull on it. I think what I need to do is fold it up at the bottom.
You need another set of hands or anything?
No, I think I got it.
That looks like it's going in nicely.
It doubles the screen up, but that's okay because it'll make it tougher, harder to grip. I'm glad the wind has stopped because I was fighting the wind a little bit. I think that looks good.
Like butter, baby.
Well, those are going back in the same hole.
I know. It's like butter, baby.
This one is not going back in the same hole. I think the board pulled over a little.
Yeah, got a little off kilter there.
I don't know where.
I feel like it should be to the left a hair, but it's beautiful.
I used to can nail pretty good. I used to be able to place the nail in here and then you hit it and it sticks and then you spin it.
Oh,
But I'm out of practice. I was young when I was doing that. Really young, like probably in my teens. My dad had built his house during the hottest weekend in August, I think, in Virginia. Well, I know it was in Virginia. I think it was in August. And it was like 104 degrees. It was ridiculous. But that was the weekend we did the footings for the house. So the house had a basement. It was a Cape Cod, so it had a basement and then 2 floors on top. And I remember being 12 years old, and he hired a brick mason, and I'm helping him with the wood framing because he brought in a framer. So he subcontracted everything out, and he was the contractor. So on the permitting, I guess that's what he did too. You can be the contractor of your own job, and then you hire subcontractors. Well, he had a brick mason, and so I worked with him. And then I actually stayed on with the brick mason when he went to other jobs and finished our house. I was still in school, but I would work with him on the weekends. And it might be an hour drive to wherever he's building a house, but I'd go out there and work with him over the weekend and just stay with him Saturday night. And one job was at his house. He was building a retaining wall, and he had a pool, and it was hot. And he's like, okay, we're done here. Go ahead, get in the pool. And I spent the night there, and then we worked on Sunday. And then I came home Sunday afternoon. So I'm used to I worked a lot as a kid. Since I was 12, I've always been working. And then when I was 16 and old enough to drive, then I was working, retail stuff. It's a little easier than construction, helping, toting block and brick and all that kind of stuff. But I've never been afraid of work. I mean, if something takes a little work, I'm just like, okay, well, let's figure out how to do it, and then you just do it. So I know a lot of kids that don't really want to do any work. They just want to reap the benefits, and you tell them this is what the job entails, and they're like, do I have to? No, you don't have to. I'll get him to do it. But so the screen is in there. I just got to replace the boards, which is just a matter of tack nailing them back in place. Okay, we got one of them done.
Yeah. Tap that bottom one in a little bit.
Oh. Yeah, some of this might come loose here.
Okay, so now we have one done. And you're right, that wasn't much fun.
They're not much fun. I hate those screens. And the other ones are done from the ladder. So we're not doing that today. That's another day.
This was your practice run?
This was my practice run.
All right, so I guess we'll check back.
We'll check back on the other ones.
You want to check back on the other ones?
Sure. I mean, it's kind of the same principle.
Okay.
If I'm able to stretch the screen across and put the board back in, then I will. If I have rips and tears in the screen, then I have enough screen I can replace it.
Okay.
So that's another DIY project here at the Granger cabin.
Awesome.
We'll see you next time.
Taking another thing off the list and putting another 5 things on. What?
All right, so this is the next day. We decided to go ahead and finish up the screen one. So I did do that. It was hard to video, so I didn't do a video, but I'm going to talk you through it because Therese was working on that azalea again today.
Chipping away.
And I was on a ladder, so I had a stapler, some nails, a hammer, so it was hard to do the camera. And the camera from the ground, you don't know if you're pointing it. I mean, it's just a mess. So this is our wrap up for the screen repair. And this is my pointer. That's why I have it so I can flip it.
Fancy.
So the screen, as you know, some of it was pushed in and compromised, and I think I found 2 holes. One is right here. You can kind of see it there. I didn't repair that whole screen because I'm just going to do a patch on the hole. I think it's easier in that event. Now, if we want to go back and do a full repair, we can do that. I'm aware that it's there. The other one is a little bigger hole, and it's all the way in here in the corner, and I did a 4-inch by 4-inch patch, and I was able to secure it in with the with the running boards that you pull off and then you tack them back down. So the way I did this is I pulled these off real delicately and tried to not break them. On some of them I pulled the nail head through the board, but I was able to just reattach it. Just don't use the same hole and reattach it. And then I had some finishing nails, so you can't even see those. And I tacked finishing nails in places where I needed, where the board's kind of bowed, and so I wanted to push it back in. So, but I was able to salvage all the screen. Right here was the worst part. This one and this one were both pulled in off of this center board and pushed in. I was able to remove that board and the bottom board and bring them back together, and I stapled them in place, and then I reattached the board. So that's how I did it. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, overall, if you look at the whole body of work, it's an older screen and some of the wood is warped. But I think once you paint it, because that's the next step, if you come around here,
Yeah, when that lattice gets painted and those boards around the screen, that'll look really nice.
So you can see here where we, on the front face, you can see where we painted the board trim. We're going to do the same thing on the back.
You can kind of see it. It's hard to catch it very well from the bottom, but you've seen it in the past videos and
Yes.
you can kind of see it here.
I was just trying to give your eye a visual.
But yeah, this lattice in the back still hasn't been painted. You can see the difference when I go down here to here. It'll look amazing when it's done.
So it'll be the same color. It'll be the same dark blue, and it'll go across, and it'll outline the screen, and then we'll paint the lattice. And I think if you're able to vision it by looking at this face and then vision it, carry it over to this face, and then we're also going to go on this other end over here. So at least there's no open tears in the screen now, so nothing can get in there.
No birdies.
No birds, no bugs.
I like to listen to them in the mornings when we're sitting out on the porch.
People say Tennessee has a lot of bugs and mosquitoes, but now we haven't been here a whole calendar year yet, but I haven't seen that.
Well, I'm sure they are here, just we haven't been here during that time, and hopefully we won't.
Right. But, I mean, you haven't seen a mosquito until you spend a summer in Alaska. Those are mosquitoes, and they are vicious, and it is, every 2 weeks is a different breed that comes out. So it's like when they have breakup and the ice is thawing, all the mosquitoes are hatching, but it's the slow ones that kind of go, oh. They're not really biting, and you just kind of go like that, and they go away, and you can slap them real easy. They're slow. Then they go away, they die off, and then 2 weeks, it might be nice, and then you'll get another breed of mosquito, the kamikazes they call it, the ones that are real tiny and they're fast, and you always miss them, and they bite, they hurt, and sometimes they can be in abundance, especially if you're in shadowed areas in the tree line. Oh my goodness, I've never seen mosquitoes as bad as I've seen there. So here I have not seen anything like that. So if you occasionally get a mosquito bite, I don't call that a mosquito problem. I just call that nature. But anyway, getting back to the subject.
Squirrel, squirrel.
Squirrel, squirrel. So all of this needs to be painted as well, and it's in pretty good shape on this side. Nothing was torn or ripped. And then right here is a board missing. So we got to get a piece of this, I think it's just 1/2 inch by 2 inch, I'm not really sure. Trim board for this, and right here. But the screen is in good shape. It's just missing the boards. And then of course, painting all that. We'll paint all this trim here. This is in good shape. I went around and tapped in a lot of the nails that were half sticking out, because you know, nails don't grab like screws do. And back when they built this, they used nails. And nails over time will pop out or come loose. And so I kind of tightened them all up with the hammer, all the ones that I saw. And we'll also paint those 2 trim boards at the very top, just to match everything. And then I think the painting will be done.
Sweet.
I think it'll look nice, and it's nice to have, our favorite part of the house is this porch. We spend a lot of time on the porch. I like to get up, make my coffee, come out on the porch. Even though it's a little chilly in the morning right now, I still love it. The sun comes over the lake in the morning, and it's just peaceful. We have tons of birds that are just like really loud. You're almost like you're sitting in a bird aviary. It's really, really loud. The squirrels are doing their thing, and once in a while you'll catch deer. Haven't seen any in a while, but normally when there's deer, they're here by the dozens. So it's going to create a nice landscape to just kind of nature watch and drink your coffee and just kind of plan your day. So that's it for the DIY screen repair project. Next, we just have to get onto this painting. Whenever we start that, it'll probably take a little while to do that, because it's a lot of touch-up paint to paint lattice.
I want to get that done before we hit the road again.
Yeah, so we'll probably start this week and
get your brushes ready.
All through next week. So yeah, get your paintbrushes ready.
All right. Catch you
Enjoying
on the
this great
flip side.
weather in Tennessee.